Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a narrow strip of water that, believe it or not, holds the entire global economy hostage, the Strait of Hormuz. It's a story packed with history, high-stakes geopolitics, and the incredibly fragile routes that power our world. Imagine this. It's February 28, 2026, and this one stark message crackles over maritime radios. That's it. That's all it takes to signal a brand new global crisis. A single transmission that sent immediate shockwaves through governments and boardrooms all across the globe. And the market reaction? Oh, it was instant, brutal. Global oil prices jumped 10% in just a few hours. We saw Brent crude surge past $100 a barrel. Now, this isn't just a number on a screen. It's a clear sign of pure panic ripping through the global energy supply chain, threatening to drive up costs for everyone. So how on earth can a single waterway cause so much global chaos? The answer, really, is all about geography. In this story, the map tells you everything you need to know. You see, the Strait of Hormuz is the only sea passage from the oil and gas-rich Persian Gulf out to the open ocean. It's not just a route, it is the only route for some of the world's biggest energy producers. And that makes it one of the most critical and most vulnerable strategic choke points on the entire planet. The sheer narrowness of the strait is pretty staggering when you look at it. At its tightest point, it's only 21 miles wide. But get this, the actual shipping lanes are even narrower. We're talking just 2 miles wide in each direction. It's like a tiny little needle that a huge chunk of the world's energy supply has to thread every single day. And the volume of trade squeezing through here is just immense. We're talking about a quarter of all seaborne oil, a fifth of all liquefied natural gas, and this is a big one, nearly a third of all traded fertilizers. And that last one is absolutely key, because any disruption here doesn't just threaten our energy supply, it threatens the global food chain itself. But here's the thing. This fight for control over this passage is not a news story. Nope. It's a conflict that has repeated itself for millennia, a struggle for power that's basically as old as civilization. Let's take a look back. You can go all the way back to the ancient Persian empires. They saw the Gulf as their imperial lifeline. Then you have the powerful medieval kingdom of Hormuz, which got incredibly wealthy as a trading hub. Through it all, one rule has always been true. Whoever controls the strait controls the flow of commerce and power between East and West. And in the 16th century, a brand new power arrived to claim that prize. Yeah, the arrival of the Portuguese marked a whole new era. They weren't just there to trade, they were there to conquer. They built a massive fortress and set up what was basically a protection racket, completely dominating regional trade for over 100 years and flipping the whole balance of power on its head. But that kind of dominance rarely lasts forever, right? In 1622, a combined force of Persian soldiers, backed up by the naval power of the English East India Company, came and laid siege to the fortress. With pretty overwhelming force, they captured it, and just like that, control of this vital passage shifted once again. For centuries, the strait's value was all about pearls, spices, and textiles. But then, a discovery in 1908 completely redefined its importance forever, transforming it from a regional hub into an absolute linchpin of the entire global economy. And this shift is so important. Before 1908, it's all about luxury goods. But after oil was discovered in modern-day Iran, the Black Gold Rush began. This ancient trade route was suddenly reborn as the world's primary energy pipeline. Today, that dependency on energy is massively concentrated in Asia. I mean, nearly half of the crude oil passing through Hormuz is heading for China alone. Countries like India, Japan, and South Korea are also critically reliant on this single, vulnerable choke point to power their economies. These aren't just trade statistics. You could almost call them national vulnerability scores. So this brings us to a crucial piece of modern history. That hypothetical 2026 crisis we started with, well, it has a direct and pretty chilling precedent, the tanker war of the 1980s. So, during the long and brutal Iran-Iraq War, the conflict spilled out from the land battlefields into the strategic waters of the Persian Gulf. Both sides started attacking commercial ships, trying to choke off the oil exports that were funding their enemy's war machine. It was a terrifying demonstration of just how vulnerable this vital shipping lane could be. Iraq, in particular, really ramped up its anti-shipping campaign. The goal wasn't just to cripple Iran's economy, but also to provoke a wider crisis, one that might just draw Western powers in to help their side. And you know what? It worked. As the attacks escalated, Kuwait, whose tankers were being hit by Iran, turned to the United States for help. The Reagan administration responded by putting American flags on Kuwaiti tankers and providing them with U.S. Navy escorts. This whole thing was called Operation Earnest Will, a direct military intervention just to protect the global flow of oil. And this brings us right back to today, where you can see history, geography, and energy politics all colliding once again in these narrow waters. It's a powerful reminder that the lessons of the past are never really that far from the surface. The modern strategy here is fascinating. Because of its geography, Iran doesn't even need to mount a full-scale military blockade. All it has to do is create uncertainty. Because in global energy markets, uncertainty is almost as damaging as a full closure. The mere threat of mines or attacks is enough to cause insurance and shipping costs to explode, which has the exact same devastating effect on oil prices. And this really is the fundamental question that these recurring crises in the Strait of Hormuz force us all to confront. For thousands of years, empires have fought to control this one single passage. So in our deeply interconnected world, is our reliance on these fragile arteries of trade a source of our collective strength, or is it our fatal weakness?